As video editors, time is the environment in which we work. And so time code is the way that we define that time. And I'm going to explain that to you in just a moment. First, let's take a look at our sequence here, the timeline panel. It's important to recognize that this represents time. As we go to the left of our timeline, it represents earlier in time. As we move towards the right, it represents our program going later in time, towards the end of our movie. This happy little fella with the blue handle with the red vertical line is referred to as the current time indicator. It tells us where we are in time. So here we are towards the beginning of our program, and I could drag it to the right, and that moves us later in time. Now, the spot where we are exactly in time is demonstrated or shown to us by this time indicator here. And the way that this reads, there's 4 groups of numbers here. This reads from left to right: hours, minutes, seconds, and then frames. Really, all that video is a series of still images played back in a row, and those still images are called frames. We'll talk specifically about frame rates later on in this training series, but for now, just know that there's usually between 20 and 60 frames every second. The current time display, for example, is telling us that we are at the 9-second mark. We could click somewhere and our current time indicator will just jump where our cursor goes. We don't have to drag the current time indicator or CTI. And so we could see here that the time is 3 seconds and 12 frames in. If we wanted to, we can click and drag right or left on the time display to get to a particular frame if we wanted to. Now, we could also manually type in a certain time code to go to, and our current time indicator will jump to that spot. Let's say, for example, I have the timeline panel selected, which is necessary. So I need to click on my sequence and get this orange outline around this panel for this to work. But let's say, for example, I want to go to 4 seconds and 12 frames. I could just type in 4, 1, 2, and then hit enter, and my current time indicator jumps to 4 seconds and 12 frames in. Likewise, I could type in 11:03, and that will jump to 11 seconds and 3 frames. So you can see that I don't have to actually click in this field or have my cursor anywhere near this field in order to get to a certain spot using timecode. And timecode becomes extremely important as you become more and more professional in the world of video editing. As we film, let's say, for example, a full-length movie, you will have hundreds of minutes of footage that you will need to sort through. And so you will get probably a list, depending on how professional the production is, of shots that are good takes and spots that you need to avoid and that type of thing. So you need to be able to navigate quickly using timecode.